So, do you love decorating and changing your spaces with the seasons, or maybe just because? One of the challenges I face in New York City is that there is nowhere to store decorations or extra things. So one of my cheats is to change up the bathroom. I find that I get the most impact for new look with the cheapest budget that I can. I've got some DIY tips for you, and we are going to redo the bathroom Disney style.
Live your life to a Disney tune. Come and share Jake's Disney afternoon.
So we're in the bathroom and we're going to redo it Disney style. Today, we're going to go out with the old and in with the new. So one of the systems I've come up with is in my small little space here. I get a really graphic and colorful shower curtain that kind of takes up the expanse of the room. And then I've got empty wall here where I've started to take down the old art, and I'm going to put up a couple of new art that matches what I have. And together you'd be surprised what kind of an impact that this makes on the room. So this all started one Christmas when I bought a Snoopy Christmas shower curtain at Marshall's. And I also bought these two paintings for about $10 or so each. That went right on the walls here. As you can see, I've got spots where my command strips go, and I loved it so much. And then they came down, and I was like, well, now what do I do? I found that in the year that I've been doing this, that it just really brightens my mood, brightens my day, brightens the space, and gives me something to look at with very little to store. So I'm going to... Don't mind the caddies in the shower. So I'm going to switch out my shower curtain. So this is the one non-DIY part of this. So Redbubble is a great place for getting print-on-demand graphics that usually you can't get very often anywhere. So that's where, hey, enough. Do you mind? Thank you. So that's where I got this one. This is the Wuzzles, and you would never get this print anywhere else. Normally, these are not cheap to do this print on demand. They're like $65, but a couple times a year, particularly around the holidays, and I think maybe in the late summer, they run these gigantic sales, like 75% off for shower curtains, which makes them about $20. And I jump on, and I usually buy like 3 or 4, which lasts me about the year because I usually change up the space in here maybe every 3 to 4 months. So one round of those, and they're good quality. So today I've got a new one. You're gonna get it. And we are going to switch out. I don't know how much you'll see, but I will show you at the end result. We've got some Chippendales Rescue Rangers. We've got all the characters here on this giant shower curtain that I absolutely love. Again, I got this for about $20. We're going to make some art for the walls, which cost me about $5. So for $25, we're going to get basically a brand new bathroom. Let me show you the two styles I did. You can do one of each. You could do one of both of them. Or you could come up with something else you'd like to put on the canvas. But the point more is that we're going to reuse the command strips that are already on the wall, and we're just going to replace the images every time. So let me show you how I did that. So this is for picture number 1. I've got my 8x8 canvas here. I picked this up at Michael's. You can get these in a 10-pack. Usually cheap, especially around back to school time. I think I paid $10 for the pack of 10, so they were $1 each. You can also get them at the dollar store. They're a little thinner. This has got a nice frame mount on it, which I really like. The advantage of buying them in bulk is that if you're going to do multiple sort of switch out bathrooms, you've got a whole series of them to work with. So there's my canvas. You're going to want your images if you're not going to freehand draw them. This is kind of a cheat for that. If you have old coloring books, those make great images, except I would advise photocopying the picture. Those old coloring book pages are thin and will bleed through to the image on the back. You can also find some free clip art and drawings online, whatever suits your fancy. So I printed out some here. I like the detail of this one. I guess it printed a little strange there. I like the detail of this one. It may be a little more complicated than is necessary. But I like that Fat Cat's included there. And then I've got a little bit more traditional one. It's a little smaller, the image, than I would have liked. I didn't measure them before I printed them. But, you know, I may do some design work around it. Or I could put the logo in or something like that. So I think I am going to go with this one. You're going to want to cut just around the image, get rid of the text, any whatever's on there. As you can see, I'm not being too fancy here. Get rid of our scraps. So then you're going to center your image. I usually just do it by eye. So I've got some decoupage gloss. You could use Mod Podge. Any of this stuff will work. I usually buy it. It's pretty cheap in a couple of these bigger 16-ounce bottles. They last forever and a day. So I'm going to open this up. And I've got my paintbrush. You could use a smaller one than this, just one I happen to have. And I'm going to wet the canvas first. So I'm going to pour some of this directly on. Give it kind of a even coat here because you want the picture to adhere to something. Thin it out so you don't have too many lumpity bumps. I don't really love those hair bristles. This brush is a little bit on the cheap side. It's all right. So then I'm going to center my picture. You're going to be able to paint right on top of this when all is said and done. Okay. I don't spend a ton of time, perfecting these. I think what I love about sort of doing like a temporary bathroom setup is that it is temporary and that you can tear it down, do something else that comes along. It's both practical decoration and design and also fun art as a project. And so I enjoy just doing these, every 3 or 4 months. I'm switching out the bathroom and making it something new. Feels like a whole fresh room when we're done. So you want to smooth that out. It's not 100% perfect, but that's all right. Might cover that up with a little. Sometimes you can take your finger and pull the air bubble out with just a little bit of pressure. So that's step number 1 for this. Okay, so the Mod Podge has cleared on this and I am ready to paint now. So I've got my set of paints. I really love this set. There's 48, I don't know where the color chart went, but there's 4 rows of these under here. Great to have a good set of paints. I think it was like $40 at Michael's. Okay, I have my reference image that I will be using. And I've got some brushes. And we are ready to go. So these are acrylics that I'm using. And we'll paint just over top. So let me get some blues. Okay, so now we're going to start the second picture. And if painting seems overwhelming to you or an intense project, you could do 2 of what I'm about to show you. Because there's enough supplies here for at least 2. I've done this before. So I've got a comic book here. Even at $5.99, this is not a bad price for what you get, but I think I got this on eBay for like $1 or $2. So again, pretty cheap. This was $1, so we're only a couple dollars deep at the moment. So I've got another 8x8 canvas. So I want to cut to some images that I like. You know, honestly, you could just take this whole image and slap it in there. You'd have a little crease there and you'd have some credits. But this is, you know, one easy way to do that. And then moving forward, what I didn't like about what came before, this is all sort of in brown sepia tones. It's not the most graphic and fun to look at. You could, now you could slice up some things. Just cutting through, that's a great image right there. So then you're going to want to start laying out your images. So let's see. Let's start with the ones you love the most. And then you can just, you know, pop a filler in here, there, and everywhere. So I'm thinking if I go like, now you could also wrap around the edge. I don't know if I'm going to do that this time. I've done it before. It's a pain in the neck, if I'm honest. And if you don't do it, it's a choice. It looks like, you know, maybe that's what you intended it to do or to be. You know, you could go diagonal. I've done diagonal before. I've done like just more collage rather than sort of linear lines, which this is sort of shaping up to do or to be. Let's see if we could get this one up there. What do you think? You know, as a filler, could we put this map in just to kind of clean up that gap? It's a possibility. It's not wide enough for that, so I don't know if long ways is weird. Sometimes you got to go back to the old source comic book here. All right, now, if I were to use that mostly to cover, and shebang, we did it. Okay, so watch. Okay, so there's our loose layout. Now from here, we glue. You may get some bubbles. Again, you know, honestly, it's not something I worry about too terribly, because this is, you know, temporary decor. And then you're going to want to seal the whole thing. All right. I usually do a couple of coats. So I'm going to let that dry. You know, sometimes when it's wet and sloppy, you'll find that you need to let it dry and then come back to it and then discover where some of your loose things are. But I'm pretty happy with that. So before I show you the final product, I've got my shower curtain hung here, which I'll get a better view of in a minute. But I just wanted to show you, so all of the Redbubble shower curtains come in this sort of like a bag you would get your sheets in. And what I love about them is that it holds the shower curtain, it holds my 2 paintings, and there's my bathroom redecoration kit that I can just tuck away somewhere. It's easy storage. This is from a Snorks one that I did. I'll show some other pictures at the end, but I have a bunch of these now. So anytime I want to switch out the bathroom, it's boom, shower curtain, hit it up with some new pictures, and I've got a whole brand new bathroom that can be done. So let me show you the final products that I have for this one. So here is the painting. Now, if I'm honest, and you know I'm honest, I'm not in love with what happened in the background here. The texture, because I had Mod Podged it first, didn't take in the same way that I had wanted it to, but it's temporary art. I could repaint it if I wanted to. I could redo it if I needed to. It's not that serious. What I did do that you didn't see in the video is I went through with a permanent black thin marker and I cleaned up the edges and the lines of the actual characters and the images there. So there's one for the wall. So we're gonna line it up. What I love about these command strips is that you can kind of do it by eye. And you've got one picture hanging already. So here's the second one. This is the more collage style I made from the comic book. Really happy with how this turned out, how the images lay together. Most of the bubbles kind of went down. I did shellac both of these with the Mod Podge coating so that they are sealed and protected in the bathroom. You get a lot of steam, you get a lot of water. So there's the second style. And let's put this on the wall next to it. You know, kind of even those out. And now we've got a couple of pieces of artwork up. I'll show you, I did make a couple others. This is more the linear style. So I just took this is an older style comic book that I just took and did basically the comic book lines rather than try to make a collage out of it. So let me get out of the way. And so now I'll show you, there's our shower curtain. Don't mind the cabinet open there, okay? And then right next to it on the wall, we have got our pieces of art. Now again, I'm gonna put some pictures of other bathrooms that I've done, setups with this same curtain and art thing, just to give you an idea of the variety that's possibly out there. So I hope you like this kind of DIY. It's a great way to bring some Disney magic into your house without spending a lot of money. Again, I think the whole setup cost me 25 bucks, and every 3 or 4 months I get to change it. Tell me down below if you would like to see more of this kind of content. I'd love to hear your creative ideas for bringing some Disney magic into the spaces that you have. And if you have pictures you want to share, I'd love to show them off sometime. You could reach out to me at Jake's Disney Afternoon on Instagram. And until the next afternoon, gang, stay adventurous.
Hope to see you back real soon, sharing in Jake's Disney Afternoon.